All right, guys. Now the opening match, the Casino ladder match, for an opportunity to get a shot at the AEW World Title. Brian Cage defeated Darby Allin and Colt Cabana, Orange Cassidy, Joey Janela, Scorpio Sky, Kip Saban, and
Frankie Kazarian.
Frankie Kazarian, yes. Thank you. Jimmy Havoc and Luchasaurus. This match was just as any other ladder match. It was just like a spot fest. It was just one Scooby-Doo move after another. I thought it was entertaining at best. I don't know if anybody got over. I felt that the eventual winner, Brian Cage, should have been pushed a little more stronger. I wasn't too happy when they buried him inside like a bunch of ladders, and he stood there for about 5 minutes. He is the fresh guy. The guy is fresh. He was ready to go. Why would you bury him and keep him there for like 5 minutes? I don't understand. I thought this match got a little too comical when they brought in like when Marco Stunt got in and all these other guys got in. But at the end of the day, the right guy won. Brian Cage, as we were all wrong except for Lou, because he predicted the mystery guy, whoever that was going to win. I personally was going for Darby Allin because I maybe like halfway through the match until towards the end when he had his little scuffle with Cage, but he had no chance in hell. But yeah, I thought this match was just another spot fest of just like, you know, flip matches in all wrestling promotions. The true ladder match here would always be Shawn and Reza. There's no other ladder match that would compete with them. I'm sorry, but yeah, I mean the eventual guy won. I've never heard of this guy. I'll be honest. I've never seen him before. The guy reminds me of Brackus. I don't know if you guys ever remember that Brackus guy in '97 in WWE. I just hope he's better than him. But yeah. Yeah. That's how I felt about this match.
Well, I mean, I'm not the biggest Brian Cage fan. I'll say that.
Yeah, I've never heard of him. You know, rumor has it he was bigger than this. Is that true?
What do you mean bigger? Like his body was bigger?
Physically bigger.
Oh, like yeah, like
he looks huge
down a little, or he was more bulky. Because he looked huge there, and
he
people say that
huge.
like he was a lot big. Yeah,
he looked huge. If he's 285 or 265, I don't think it's that much of a difference. I mean, he didn't do any super athletic moves because he's capable of doing those things. But when he got too big, those things don't look. He does a 619. I don't like it. It looks.
Yeah, I don't even think he should be doing that.
It's
like
really,
he should work as the big guy.
I mean, yeah, or he should surprise us. But if it doesn't look good, you shouldn't do it. His 619 to me doesn't look good. I don't like it. But I thought he looked really good on Saturday. I thought he came out and he looked like a star, and he did some big man moves. He looked really, really strong, really, really dominant. I didn't mind them jumping him. He positioned himself as a threat. He beat the shit out of everybody, made it look so easy. I'm so happy he didn't do this spot right here when you kind of hulk up, everybody starts jumping, you do the and get everybody off of you. That old school.
I was actually hoping for that. I
am not surprised, Julio, that you were hoping for that. That bullshit.
You know why? Because it makes him look powerful, like because this match was a lot of jobbers in there. So I felt like by him doing that would have not hurt anybody. It just would have made him.
Well, I'm not sure who you're referring to as a jobber.
Colt Cabana.
Colt Cabana is not a jobber. Maybe in your also not a jobber. I don't know. Just because you don't like someone doesn't make them a jobber.
Sean Spears. Oh wait, he wasn't in there.
Stop it.
I don't know what you consider.
Sorry, I can't.
I don't know what you consider a jobber. Based on what?
I can't.
You can't what? Speak.
Oh no, I can't, man. Go, please.
Just because you don't like someone doesn't make him a jobber. Colt Cabana, no one in AEW considers him a jobber. Wrestlers don't consider him a jobber. Like, I mean, it's fine if you don't like his work because he does comedy, but I mean, he hasn't done comedy that much in AEW. He's clearly a really good worker. I mean, I don't know, whatever. I didn't mind them burying him under whatever rubble because it's a good way to get him out the damn match. If you leave him in the match, that's it. They might as well just end it there because he was gonna beat the shit out of everybody. Like, you know, then that's it. No one gets over it. Just bury everybody. He's gonna win the match anyway. Let everybody else, you know, have a little fun at least.
They did before he came out. I just meant like as soon as he came in, he should have just completely dominated everybody.
He did. He literally dominated everybody.
That's all I meant to say.
He literally came in, beat the shit out of everybody. They had to jump him. They had to bury him under rubble to try to stop him. He still got out. He still won the match. I mean, Lou, you have something you want to say?
No, I'm waiting for you to finish.
It's gonna be point counterpoint, so you might as well just say whatever your thought is.
No. I want you to finish because then from there I can give you my take on this bout.
Anyway, I don't mind Brian Cage winning. My only issue with it is, you know, he's gonna face Moxley quite soon. Is he gonna win that match or is he gonna lose that match? Because, you know,
he needs to hold on the title.
He's the type of guy when you have these big scary guys. That's why I don't like Rybacks and Goldbergs and guys like Brian Cage, because it's really hard to book these guys. It's hard for them to beat them. So, you know, is he gonna beat Moxley? I mean, I hope
not. I'm with you. I hope not.
So they have to find a creative way to get out of that match. So they kind of booked themselves into a corner here. But besides that, I like that they kind of teased the Darby Brian Cage thing, because Taz has been trying to get Darby's attention for weeks and weeks and weeks. He's been trying to, hey man, like, let me talk to you. Let me give you some pointers. And Darby's been brushing him off. So Taz just gave him the big fuck you. I'm going to get a bigger guy, a scary guy to beat your ass. And, you know, they made sure they told that story in there. I mean, but besides that, you know, like Julio said, typical ladder match. Just a lot of crazy shit going on. And I mean, that's
it's just like it's just old now, you know. It's like oh, we're gonna see guys just hit each other with ladders, I guess. I mean, that's how I feel. I don't know why I should feel that way, because the ladder matches are so exciting, you know. But yeah, it's just another one of those matches. But Lou, go ahead.
This ladder match was awful. It was awful. Listen, the way that this match was booked, AEW booked themselves into a corner by even having this match. The 8 guys that they had in this match, all respect to all of them, because I like Darby Allin. I do. I like Scorpio Sky. I like Frankie Kazarian. Those 3 guys should have had no business being in this match. And I could even make a case for Luchasaurus too, because all those guys, as popular as they are, if they would have won this match, let's just say, for example, pick another guy, not Brian Cage. If it would have been Darby Allin who wins, we'd be asking the same question, right? We'd be asking the same question about Mox, even though with Darby Allin, it may have been a little different. Now, for what they do is for 15 minutes, from the time the first 2 guys, which was SCU, Kaz and Scorpio Sky, started the match, which was for the first 2 minutes actually looked like some semblance of a wrestling match. Then as soon as Kip Sabian came out, that's when the party started. So between the first 2 guys coming in the ring and Brian Cage coming into the ring, there were 16 minutes of wrestling where they did all the crazy spots. They did all the silly stuff that they could have possibly done. When Brian Cage came out, from the time he came out of the curtain, or out of the tunnel, I should say, to the time the bell rang, if it went more than 5 minutes, it took too damn long. Brian Cage should have smashed over every single person in that match. Brian Cage should have smashed over everybody, get the ladder, go on top. Everybody's laid out. Darby Allin tries a hope spot to keep the match going. Brian Cage goozles him. Nice flat back bump to the mat. Darby Allin's out, grabs the chip, match is over. That's how you get Brian Cage over. The other 8 guys had 15, 16 minutes to get all their stuff in. The fact that Brian Cage came in, smashed over everybody for 3 minutes, then the 8 guys came in and beat him up, got him to the floor, they put a barricade on him, they put the big poker chip on him. I mean, and then they actually did spots on top of him. I'm like, somebody needs to understand Brian Cage is 270 pounds, but he's still a human being. You do spots on him, he could get hurt. And they did all this stuff. They did another, I don't know how many, 5, 6, 7 minutes of just one spot after another, after another, after another. And then Brian Cage comes out and did what he should have done 7 or 8 minutes earlier. Get the match over with. Took too long. Nobody got over. The one person that really needed to get over was Brian Cage, and he didn't get over. He didn't get over in this match. He would have done it had he just gone in and just smashed through everybody. That's going to be no disrespect to the other wrestlers, because you can easily say, hey, they've been out there for 15 minutes.
It wouldn't hurt them at all.
Cage comes out there fresh, and he's the biggest dude out there, and he just kills everybody. None of those other guys would have been hurt if Brian Cage just smashed over them, because you can use the logic of saying they've been out there for so long, and they've been fighting and all this other stuff, and it's believable. The fact that they did that to Brian Cage, it diminished his ability to get over in this match. Now, later on, you could tell more stories with him and hopefully get him over. But this one occasion didn't work. There was literally like 15 people in this match, because so much outside interference. And I'm like, how many more people do you need in this match? You already got 9 people in the match. Then you got Jimmy Havoc, Penelope Cruz, the Best Friends, Marco Stunt. I mean, come on. How many more people do you need? And then Brian Cage comes in there, and he needs to be part of the comedy act too? No, man. No. The match was awful. I'm sorry. But, everybody worked hard. They're trying. Don't get me wrong. I'm not questioning anybody's effort, but the execution and the layout was awful. Nobody got over, not even Brian Cage, and he's the one that needed to get over.
I don't see how Brian Cage doesn't get over. It takes, like you said, 25 people to beat him, or to try to beat him, and he still wins, including Luchasaurus, who's bigger than him.
Yeah, but even
Luchasaurus is bigger than him, and Luchasaurus needed 7 other guys to help him take out Brian Cage, and they still didn't take him out.
Think about it like this: Brian Cage is going to be the one guy that's going to be able, if the winner of this match is going to get a shot at the AEW title, and you got a guy that looks like Brian Cage, just a physical look. Take a look at the other guys in the ring, really, with the exception of probably Colt Cabana, and Luchasaurus. It's all junior heavyweights. Think about that.
Yeah, it's almost like, it's almost like like you Vig, and going up against a 13-year-old kid. It's like there's no matchup right there.
That is not the same. Absolutely not the same. Me going against a third, no. It's more like me going up against one of you guys.
Oh, you'll kick my ass. That's no question.
Maybe I'll kick your ass.
With my ass.
But I've seen you beat kids up that were twice your size. So I don't know what you're talking about.
Where, in your dreams?
I've seen you beat somebody up that was twice.
Oh yeah, right. I beat you up, right? Yeah, I forgot. I kicked your ass.
It was not me. But if I fought 7 Julios, I would get my ass kicked. If I fought 7 guys that were 165 pounds, I would cheat. I would get destroyed.
When it comes to you, man, I'll cheat. I'm low blowing. I don't care, man.
If I fought 7 guys who were 170 pounds, I would get my ass beat. I would get destroyed, killed.
But here's the thing. Yes, logically that is correct.
Yes, however, realistic, I know.
Yes, it's correct. However, it should not have happened in this match. That's the thing. This match is meant to get Brian Cage over as a monster, and it didn't do it.
Yeah, this match was more like 50-50 booking.
All right. You said 50-50 booking?
There's no 50-50 booking in this match. How do you split? You're going to have to be like 10-10-10-10-10-10-10.
Anyway, all right. All
right, look. Let's talk about a match that we will all agree and like. Without a doubt, hands down, the match of the night. The match of the night, MVP of the night, wrestler of the night, moment of the night. MJF with what's his name? Warlord, whatever the heck his fucking name. Warlow versus Jungle Boy. Old school match. Loved it. None of this flippy, floppy, high spot, hey, this is awesome. It was straight up ground and pound, old school, brawler, working match. I was so into it. They were telling a story. I love just, you guys always talk about MJF. God damn it, he's proven me wrong because I really thought, this guy is, he's just going to have his 15 minutes of fame and he's going to be like another EC3. Whatever. I don't know why I said that, but anyway, he proved me wrong. What a great match from both guys. I thought the match was off the charts. And there was something else I was gonna say, and I forgot. God damn it. But yeah, like I have nothing more to say. Oh yes, this match was so old school. It kind of reminded me I was watching like an old school match with Ole Anderson against Tully Blanchard. Like these guys just told a fighting story, and I loved it. I thought it was great. Vic.
I mean, yeah, like I've already seen previews of this.
That could be a comparison, and I apologize. I don't know if that was a good comparison or not.
I mean, I'm not as old as you guys, so I'm not gonna remember that stuff.
You see how tough you are, man, when I see you face to face.
Anyway, Julio, I didn't know you were so against guys who flip. You don't like AJ Styles or Daniel Bryan? You don't like them?
No, I was talking about this match. Talking about this match.
No, I'm just saying you're like burying flipping.
Sorry, man. I apologize. Sorry anyway. To AJ. I love AJ.
Okay. I mean, I know. That's what I'm saying. It's a little weird.
Sorry. Sorry.
Don't be sorry to me. Be sorry to yourself. Anyway. Yeah. I mean, I'm not surprised at all. They've given us a taste of their chemistry. Like I've said many times, these guys, I think they're 22 or 23 and 25 or something like that. 22 and 23, something.
22 and 24.
I think MJF is 24.
Okay, yeah. So that is insane because I always say that sports prime is like 30, but wrestler prime is like 35. These guys can do this for God knows how long. Forever, you can tell this story. Like, and
MJF still has baby fat in him, but he'll get all that out soon.
I mean, look, these guys have great chemistry, and that's what I think. This is what I think is the good thing about AEW. There's a buffet. It's not just one style of wrestling. This is classic wrestling that you don't see damn near anywhere else. And you see it other places, but not guys this talented trying it. Guys who have the mindset, but don't necessarily have the athleticism. This is the athleticism and the mindset, like, and the storytelling combined that want to give you that classic style and bring back those memories of when you were a kid. I mean, yeah, this is great. I have to watch everything. I'm not gonna call it the match of the night. It might be the match of the night. I'd like to watch everything again before I say that though. But yeah, I mean,
at least mine, at least for me, like that was the match of the night.
But yeah, I mean, solid match.
Lou,
this match was great. You have. Listen, I mean, yes, there's AEW does present a buffet. I've always said that, even in a buffet, everything. If everything's got to be well prepared and everything's got to taste good. So, that could be kind of like my, my counter to that. But, we'll go on later as we keep reviewing. This match was great. I mean, think about it. You have two guys in Jungle Boy and MJF who are still babies, relative rookies, for lack of a better term. MJF is so, he's so far better than his years of experience would dictate. He's only been wrestling professionally for 5 years, but his talent and his abilities well beyond what a 5-year pro would have. Excuse me. Jungle Boy's been working for 4 years, and Jungle Boy, for all intents and purposes, I mean, he's a star in the making. And as much, and again, this was a classic wrestling match. MJF is being the heel. He's trying to punk out Jungle Boy. Jungle Boy the entire time is standing toe-to-toe with him. He's not getting punked out. Everything MJF does, Jungle Boy's matching him. They tell an excellent story. They work a body part. the fact that MJF was feigning injury, that that's like, that's like, a classic heel move. When I saw it, I was like, I laughed, knowing like this is nonsense, but it's perfect for for the storytelling of the match. They worked great holds. They did the spots on the floor. The one thing that I was a little, that I thought was a little too much is when they did the reverse Rana on the apron, only because I thought that the way that the match was being laid out.
I don't remember that, honestly.
The reverse Rana on the apron, it was towards the end of the match. And I remember when I saw that move, I was like, please don't ever do that. The only reason why is because it's a move that, although it was performed safely and nobody got really hurt, and MJF sold it. I mean, he really sold it well. The thing about it is, a move like that, you miss it by this much, and you're hurt for real. I mean, that's your dome splitting the apron. That's the hardest part of the ring, and that could be devastating. And to me, it's like I would be really upset if I think that either MJF or Jungle Boy, one of these, what I think are probably, I think that MJF is the best worker in AEW, and Jungle Boy is one of those up and coming guys. I want those two guys to be healthy and protected as much as possible. I don't want anything that I don't want them to risk themselves in any way doing unnecessary moves in the ring, especially for the match they were telling. That spot wasn't really necessary. There's two small things about this match that I didn't like. One is that I was surprised that Wardlow left on his, which you'd figure that MJF being a heel, Wardlow would be at ringside for the duration of the match, and he left. And I never saw MJF shoo him away. I didn't see the referee throw him out of ringside, so I thought that was a bit weird. And the ending, I would have to see the ending again, because if MJF beat Jungle Boy clean, because part of me wants to believe that maybe MJF grabbed the tights when he did that, when he did the I don't even know what to call the move. It almost seemed like a kind of like a bridge, pinning combination. And I was like, I hope he didn't beat him clean, because I'm like,
he held on to the tights, I believe.
Well, I hope so, because
I hope so too, because
it's just the
storytelling on him.
It's the storytelling of his character, and the fact was that MJF wasn't gloating. MJF put over Jungle Boy, even though Jungle Boy lost. The fact that when MJF won the match, he was laying out on the floor like he looked spent, like Jungle Boy took him to the limit. That was really good storytelling, because the match was even. It was a 50-50 match, which I was very happy about. Both guys looked good. Even though MJF won, Jungle Boy still looks really good, because it's not like MJF walked out looking like, yeah, punk, I beat you, blah, blah, blah. No, MJF looked like he worked awfully hard to win. So it was a tremendous bout by both guys. Very happy, and I'm just hoping for great things for both of those guys moving forward, because they're really, really good, both of them.
I agree. MJF made me a believer that night, and Jesus H. Christ, I hope he keeps on. The only thing I would like is that they, just keep him a heel. No matter how much fans cheer him, keep him a fucking heel. Have him go on social media and just crap and tell people, I don't give a shit whether you cheer me or not, kiss my butt. I'm not turning and all this crap. Man, this guy just made me a believer that night, and he is a treat to see whenever I see AEW. I will put the volume up high whenever he's on that screen.
Oh, I'll tell you. I mean, with MJF, he's going to be the kind of guy that even if he turns babyface, he could still keep the same character. And
yeah. He can have that soul that's Austin.
It would be a matter. It would just have to be the right situation and the right heel opponent. But as long as MJF doesn't turn into shaking hands and kissing babies, that would be completely wrong for his persona. But I'm a big fan of MJF. I really do. Huge fan of his.
So finals match with Cody Rhodes taking on Lance Storm. Cody Rhodes wins.
Lance Archer. Lance Storm is retired, brother. Just I'm sorry.
Stop correcting me. Lance Archer. That's what I said.
I'm sorry.
Oh my God, I'm so out of it right now. So Cody defeating Lance Archer, and Cody becoming the first inaugural TNT heavyweight champion. I don't know. My opinion, I think the wrong guy won, but hey, you know what? I'm fine with Cody winning. He deserves this. This match was almost one-sided, and I don't know. Just Kobe, look at me. Rest in peace. Cody just came out at the end and just won this match. Now, I kind of felt that Archer should have won since he was red hot, and this kind of like guessing kind of slow down his momentum. But Cody having the title, I guess that, it kind of it legitimizes the title. It gives it, some type of meaning, kind of like what John Cena did with the United States title. This, I feel, is going to be the working man's title. I feel Cody is going to have some very great matches. Every week is going to be one new opponent, and they are going to throw it out the park. As far as Archer goes, he might have lost a little bit of momentum, but you know what? He did look strong, looked very strong in a losing effort, and I still feel good things just coming out of Archer. But yeah, if it was my pick, I feel that the wrong guy won. It should have been Archer, but it is what it is, and I'm happy for Cody.
Yeah, I wanted Archer to win too. I just kind of like when Cody's fighting from behind and chasing the title, but
yeah, it's great. It's great.
But it feels like Cody's been chasing everyone for a long time. Maybe they just want to hurry up and give him his moment because it's been a year, and he didn't get the other title. I think Lance Archer will eventually win this title though, so I'm not too worried about Archer. I think Archer will be just fine because you know what?
Yeah.
I was a little iffy. I don't know if I was feeling like, damn, is Archer a little bit of a fluke based on his, I saw his work in New Japan. I didn't like him at all until I saw a match that he had with Will Ospreay, and they tore the house down. And I was like, is this Will Ospreay or is this really? I believe it takes two to tango. It's hard to get a great match if one of the guys is not bringing anything to the table. But Archer in this match, he looked good. I thought they had nice chemistry. The match was, I really enjoyed watching it. I was into it. I wasn't paying attention to the crowd. I was like into the match. I don't like that Cody won necessarily, even though he's my favorite guy. There are some things I didn't like, and I hope they handle it this Wednesday because a few things. They teased physicality with Arn Anderson and Jake. I'm not saying they needed to get into a fight, but Arn needed to hit a spine buster, or Jake needed to hit a DDT, or they needed to not mention that at all. Or they also mentioned Mike might hit somebody. If you're gonna say that Mike might hit somebody, now you gotta hit somebody. I'm a big believer that if you tease us and you tell us something's gonna happen, like the Dudleys have a bad habit of this. They put lighter fluid on the table, but they don't set the table on fire. Or they set it on fire, and it's like they light it on. They get cut off. They're about to set it on fire, and then they get cut off. I hate that spot. Don't tease me. Don't bring out anything that you're not gonna use. Don't say you're gonna do something or tease that you're gonna do something if you're not gonna deliver. So I hope on Wednesday there's Jake gets a little slap in the face or a little fake punch from Tyson or whatever. And Jake also humped Brandy. Cody needs to get his hands on Jake. I don't care if it's just a little choke, like a little, But if you're gonna tell me that,
or a sucker punch or something,
just I just wish if you're gonna tell me, the story's leaning towards Jake is doing something despicable. A receipt needs to happen, in my opinion. If you tease, that Arn Anderson and Jake, one of them's gonna do physicality. I need to see physicality. Whether they can do it or not, then don't tease it. I mean, but besides that, the match was solid, of course. Everything Cody does is at least solid to great.
Yeah, it was good. It was good. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, this match, this match is, how can I put it? This match was good about 2/3 of the way through, and I'll explain why. The build-up to the match was not very good, only because with Arn Anderson and Jake Roberts, when they did that promo the week prior to, a lot of the stuff that led to this match between Cody and Archer, independent of the tournament, it seemed like none of the heat was on Archer, all the heat was on Jake Roberts. And the thing about it is that if Cody Rhodes is the babyface, for him to go after and want to beat up a senior citizen is like the most heelish thing you can do, even if he did all the things he did to deserve it. I don't think that Mike Tyson was needed in this by any stretch. You could have used Mike Tyson in another capacity, but not here. I just thought that it was just like he's there to be there. I didn't really see the point in having him in for this particular spot. Now, with the match, I thought the match was actually really well laid out for the most part. Archer was on offense about 80% of the match. Now, the thing about it is that if Archer was on offense for 80% of the match and Cody's trying and he's getting cut off and he's firing up, he gets cut off, firing off, getting cut off, that's totally fine. That's good psychology. Again, Lance Archer, please stop beating up jobbers and bringing them into the ring during your entrance. It's stupid. Don't do it. Please stop it. Number two, when you're beating somebody up and he's in the middle of just gouging Cody Rhodes' eyes out, stop making stupid faces to the camera. Not necessary. Let the camera pan in and see in your eyes all the shit you're doing to Cody. But when you're panning to the camera, now you're performing. Don't do that. When Cody makes his comeback, and again, Cody makes his comeback, everything starts looking good. The fact that Arn Anderson felt that he needed to interfere to help Cody, again, not the right thing to do. Cody's the babyface. Create a spot where Archer makes a mistake, and then let that be the entryway for Cody Rhodes to begin his comeback and be able to start heating up and getting his stuff in on Lance Archer. The ending of this match seemed really, really weird because Lance Archer did something. He pulled off the turnbuckle pad. He ripped it clean, throws it out. The referee does absolutely nothing in any way, shape, or form. That's a spot that if you rip the turnbuckle pad off and you put it down, the spot will be as the referee grabs the grabs the pad and is attempting to put it back in the turnbuckle. What does that do? Referee has his or her back turned to the action, and then that's where you as a heel can either get a really devious heel spot in, or if Cody needed to cheat, low blow, referee's not seeing it, then that could be the impetus to begin the comeback, even if it's a heelish thing to do and it seems like a desperate move, but Cody's been getting his butt kicked the whole match, so it makes sense. Now, when I watch this, again, I'm always thinking, hey, Cody did a good job with this, Archer did a good job. Again, with Double A and Jake Roberts and Mike Tyson, I could have done without them. There's just everything that their participation in the match seemed very convoluted, and it seemed like they were trying to put them in to squeeze them in this bout, and I wasn't digging that. Now, in the end, if the turnbuckle pad gets ripped off, referee made no attempt to put it back, so the referee basically discredited himself by not even attempting to put it back. The thing that bothered me is it didn't even play into the finish. Like, it could have been something that, hey, the turnbuckle pad is exposed, and then somehow Archer gets his dome hit in it, or he hits a spot and he really hurts himself in that unprotected turnbuckle, and then Cody can hit the crossroads and beat him. That didn't even happen. All those things psychologically didn't play into the finish, which made the match a little less enjoyable for me. Did I care that Cody won? Not necessarily. I'm okay with Cody winning because I think that for the establishment of the championship, if you want to have good matches, I think that Cody is a better representative.
Yeah, that's why I said
to have those matches. Yeah, I agree with you. I agree with you. He's a better representative to have those matches than Archer is at this point. However, I do believe that Lance Archer was hurt only because I don't think that he was given enough of an out. Meaning that if Cody
but you just said he dominated on almost 80% of the match. How did he
matter? Because here's the thing: if I dominate 80% of the match and I still don't win, and you beat me clean, you didn't cheat, that means that your 20% was more man than my 80 on offense. Agreed. And it's not like these guys are the same size. Archer is way bigger and way heavier than Cody. He's got 6 inches and at least 50 pounds on him. Yeah. So it's like that's the psychology of the match, where it didn't seem to fit from a psychology standpoint, that the finish looked too clean. Like, hey, Cody Rhodes is, came back, and it's like, a lot of the elements.
He just got a lucky jab and got him down, for example.
But what I'm saying is that a lot of the elements in the match were designed that if they were used properly to the finish, it would make more sense. Meaning, Cody wins, and you could call it's a tainted victory. So what? Cody was wrestling a guy who was 6'8" and a cheeseburger away from 300 pounds. Who cares? Like, if he had to cheat a little bit, that's fine. You know, anybody would have done it in his position. But the fact that he beat him clean and the elements that Archer presented, ripping off the turnbuckle pad, the managers getting involved, blah, 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 it just seemed like there were spots that were put in, but they didn't logically fit into the finish. And that's the reason why I'm saying that Archer got a little bit hurt. Hopefully, you know, they can rebuild him. It wasn't horrible. It wasn't a horrible match. I just didn't like the finish. That was just it. Like,
a lot of people didn't like the finish. A lot of people were not happy
it's just
with
you gotta clean up the finish, because that's what the whole match is designed. It's designed for the finish. And you know, they told the story right. They told the story right throughout the entire match. It's just the finish. The finish wasn't very good. That's all.
I mean, I'm glad you mentioned that, because you reminded me. I didn't like Arn Anderson spot. I'm okay with the babyface manager getting involved, but I kind of feel like you need to earn it. Like, Archer keep
The heels have to cheat first.
egging him on. Like, Archer or Jake cheat first. Jake cheat
Heels
first.
have to cheat first.
But I didn't see that. I don't think Jake cheated. Or Archer pissed Arn off, because Arn is a former wrestler with a short fuse. And if you piss him off, he might screw you over. And he is a former horseman. So I kind of wanted to see that story be told.
But nothing in the match led to that.
Yeah. I agree. I didn't like that, and I think that's what, you know, ultimately ruined the finish. I don't like when Cody does the double crossroads. I kind of like a crossroads. I want something big to happen if you know, or if he wants to do it early on. But I like that definitive crossroads. Boom, 1, 2, 3, or you know, that's just me. That's just my taste.
No. You're right. That doesn't make sense. No,
That's how I like the crossroads. I like it in one. I don't care if he does 2 in a match, but I don't like the back to back. I know he's trying to be like, I need another one. That's okay sometimes, but you know, I mean, I don't know. I had a final thought. What the hell was it? Oh, the turnbuckle. It didn't play to the finish, but it did play to the match. It's what helped Cody start getting offense on Archer, because Archer hits his ribs on the turnbuckle, and then that's what Archer's selling throughout the entire match. He was selling the ribs, and that's how Cody was able to get the 20% of offense that he got.
I'm just saying, in that spot like that, there's, at least my psychology, I would do a lot of different things, you know, because the thing about it is, when that becomes like one spot, and then he does the stinger splash on him, and I'm like, Cody, man, yo, that turnbuckle is there, man. It's just like a glowing red light that I'm just seeing, like, oh Lord, please get that. That should be incorporated in the finish, especially when the referee did nothing to stop it. Nothing. And I literally saw the referee pick the pad and throw it out to the floor, and I was like, oh my God, no. Whoever produced this match, please go back and tell that referee, don't ever do that again, because you're discrediting yourself. Like, that's the referee. You're there to maintain law and order.
It's amazing.
Just rip off all the corner pads too, and just leave them all empty.
That's so amazing, Lou. How you spot these things, and at least I speak for myself. I don't. And when you spot these things, I go, holy shit, you're right. It's amazing.
Hey, you didn't spot the turnbuckle being taken? Oh, you're talking about the ref?
No, I just meant, like, you know, yeah. In general, like, you know, like the referee's job, like Lewis is very good at critiquing and talking about these things. I unfortunately do not see that sometimes, and I go, holy shoot, you're right.
Yeah, it's just,
you know, because at the end of the day, the referee is the third man in the match, you know.
And the thing about it is, in a situation like that, you know, the referee's position is obviously there to maintain the order of the match. However, they're part of the act too. So what ends up happening is, when situations like that happen, realistically with the referee, you know, that's a spot that's meant, okay, referee goes, tries to put the turnbuckle pad on, and whatever, let's say that takes 8 seconds or whatever, you know, I'm just throwing a timeout, 10 seconds it takes the referee to pick the pad up, walk over to the corner, you know, mimic whatever gimmick they're going to do. What could let's say that Cody Rhodes is laying down on the mat and he's just like, oh, he's hurting. Lance Archer could just simply walk over, try to grab him, and Cody just crotch shots him, and, oh, Archer's down on the floor. Referee saw nothing. Also, another thing too that I mentioned for the crowd, because this is something that actually annoyed me quite a bit with Big Swole. but the fact that I have to point her out, I was like, listen, I understand that you want to be, you're trying to be enthusiastic and you're mouthing off as much as you want. You got to understand something. You're not a fan. You're a wrestler. The fact that you got up in Lance Archer's face and you're bowing up and literally, that Archer's not going to do anything to you. You're kind of burying him too.
Yeah.
Act afraid. Or even if Archer attempts to punk you out, you better at least take a step back. Because if not, it's like, well, if Lance Archer doesn't scare Big Swole, then he shouldn't be scaring Cody Rhodes. Just period.
I agree. All right, awesome. All right, next match. Another match that ended pretty quickly. I don't remember that much. It was Dusty Rhodes defeating Sean Spears. Now, look, guys, regardless of what
Dusty, the American Dream, baby. No, not the American Dream, baby.
You know what? I'm done, man. I'm sorry. I'm just stopping this, man. Jesus Christ.
Every time Julio brings up a wrestler that doesn't work for AEW, we should take a shot.
No. Come on, man. No. We can't do Julio like that. We can't do.
No. Thank you for the correction. But as Stone Cold would say, don't ever correct me again. Dustin Rhodes with Brandy. Brandy Rhodes defeating Sean Spears. All right, guys. Look, regardless of what I say about Sean Spears, the guy's a great worker. I just talk. I love to talk shit. This match kind of ended real quick. I don't know what happened. I thought this was going to be a very good, competitive, 10-minute, old school type of match. But they ended it quick. I don't know why. The one thing that I did not like, well, not like, I just found it weird was the fact that Brandy came out with the brother-in-law and not with the husband. I found that kind of, like, hey, what's going on here? Shouldn't you be with your husband better? And after all the shit that Jake Roberts did to you. So I didn't find it stupid. I just found it like weird or strange. But yeah, nothing really special about this match. Just another win for Dustin.
The Brandy thing, she's been coming out with Dustin for damn near what feels like months. She's been coming out with Dustin and
I just felt like her not coming out with her husband for a championship. I found it weird.
No, but ever since he got Arn Anderson, there's been no more. That's it.
Yeah.
They explained that on television. She's gonna go move on, and she's gonna help other members of the Nightmare family because Arn, he's the big head coach. Cody's the big star, and Arn is his coach. And Brandy, you need Brandy and Arn.
That's fair enough. You
need Brandy and Arn? Like, I don't know. I wouldn't have Brandy and Arn.
She's hot, man. I would love to have her in my corner.
For the story of the match with Archer, yeah, it would make sense to have her out there.
Maybe she could come out, but I don't.
She should have I
don't think you need both of that ladies.
But yeah.
Either way, this was a really quick match. I like Julio said, I would have preferred a longer match. I think
at least 10 minutes.
Sean Spears is not really getting any love right now. I'm not sure what's going on. I thought he was he did this he had that little promo, like little news segment. I thought it was pretty funny. I thought it was pretty good.
Yeah, that was funny.
I thought that would get him a nice 10-minute match, but
yeah,
they're telling the pissed off Dustin, which is good. If Dustin's gonna face another big guy and help get that guy over, maybe a Brian Cage or maybe Brody Lee, one of those guys. I like when Dusty. Not thank you, Julio. Thank you so much.
What's wrong with you? He doesn't work for the company. What's wrong with you? Now you're getting hit.
I like when Dustin faces big guys. Like, I like that dynamic because he's tall and
he's a big guy himself.
Two big, two big MFers going at it.
Yeah,
a nice little slugfest. And Dustin's gonna make them look good. So it looks like they're warming Dustin up, and they're about to feed him to one of the big guys. That's what I think is gonna happen.
Agree, Lewis.
Listen. This match was what it was. It was a comedy match. It was exactly what it was designed to be. Now, I do agree that whatever that segment Sean Spears did on Dynamite, the week on the Go Home show, which again, it was the wrong place to put it. That particular video package should have aired the week before, and then have Dusty have a reply on the Go Home show, so that then you can have a reason for this match. This match was designed almost to have Spears go out and say, "Oh yeah, Dustin Rhodes is retired. You never heard anything about Dustin Rhodes." It almost felt like a poor man's version of the John Cena Undertaker match from WrestleMania a couple years back, where Cena kept calling Taker out, and
That is
then
a crazy comparison.
yes, it is, but that's kind of like what it felt like in a much more, I call it the poor man's version of that. Now, when Spears comes out, he's clearly thinking, obviously he's in street clothes, so he's clearly thinking like, hey, Dustin's not here. And then he punks out referee Aubrey. Aubrey again, it's like, he's not here. Again, Aubrey doing the right thing, like the referee's like, dude, he's not here. What do you want me to count? Then after Shawn Spears punks her out, then she goes ahead and rings the bell. The music plays a second time. It's not Dustin Rhodes, running out. It's not Dustin Rhodes looking badass. No, you see Brandy come out and do her whole gimmick, and then Dustin Rhodes comes out and does his thing, and I'm like, well, by the wrestling logic, Aubrey should have counted him out, because by the time he got to the ring, he was past the count of 10. But whatever. So he comes into the ring. The match starts. It is what it is. It's a comedy match. Spears is taking just bumps left and right, getting his butt kicked. Listen, it's a win for Dustin Rhodes to establish him, to make him look good after the match he had with Archer, which makes sense. I don't like the fact that it's at the expense of Shawn Spears. I think that the way to spin this the right way is that this should be the impetus for Shawn Spears to finally get serious. And because listen, he's a talented wrestler. He's got the look. His promo that he cut was actually not half bad. I don't necessarily understand what the intent was of that video package. I don't know if it was a spoof on wrestling, a spoof on news. Just not sure what it was, but it was well done for whatever it was. However, the result of the match still makes him look stupid. So it's like, okay, at what point are you finally gonna get serious and get to that, that I guess like a darker, meaner side of you, that you can bring that out? Because I think that if Spears finds that, and damn it, bring back Tully Blanchard. If Tully Blanchard's not gone from AEW, bring him back with Spears. You gotta find some, because I haven't seen Tully Blanchard. The whole spot with Tully Blanchard, and the thing on his crotch was hysterically funny.
That's a COVID-19 situation.
I was just about to say that. Yeah, because he lives in Canada.
But the thing is, even with that, it'd be a matter of like, hey man, I was gonna say have him cut a promo, but that doesn't make sense either. But it's more of an issue that with Shawn Spears, it seems like he's been doing like this. He's been in circles and in circles, spinning his wheels, and it's a little frustrating because again, I think that he's one of those guys that should be featured better. This match was designed obviously to get him on the pay-per-view. Was whatever it was. It was meant to be a comedy match. For those purposes, they executed it right. Dustin gets the win. I'm just hoping that for Shawn Spears, they move him on quickly and get him into something where he can sink his teeth in and get some meat on the bone, because this that he's doing right now, he ain't looking good. If he keeps doing this stuff, he could cut all the great promos in the world, but if he's working a 3-minute match and getting his clock cleaned, it's silly. Just no.
Yeah, no, I agree. I agree, Lou. I just feel like I don't know what they're doing with him right now. Like, he doesn't have telly. He's doing this comedy skit. He's hanging out like, at ringside, with everybody else. I just feel like he's stuck in limbo, and AEW is trying to find something for him, and they can't find him, because I've said it before and I say it again. The wrestlers at ringside are all designed, like for lower card guys, and I feel that that Spears is not a lower card guy. Regardless of all the stuff I say about him, he's great. I just like to rattle somebody, but other than that, no, I think you're right. They do need to find something for him, and something has to be quick. And again, the like Vic said, the Tully situation is just the COVID-19, because he lives in Canada, and rather they're not allowing anybody from Canada inside the United States. But yeah, Vic, any last thoughts on this match?
Well, I guess my final thing is, it's almost, if you're gonna beat Shawn Spears, they kind of told the right story to beat him, because he was caught off guard, like Lou said. Like he's trying to get an easy win. And, he is this kind of chicken shit, kind of fucking little asshole heel. And he's like, let me get sneaky. I'm gonna steal a win because Dustin's not coming back.
Yeah.
And
I agree.
he gets caught off guard. He's in street clothes, and he gets his ass kicked quick. He's caught in. I think they executed that pretty good.
Yeah, no. I agree. They just gotta just find a way to build him back up because honestly, I just feel like he's literally like, all right, we're just gonna put you here for now until we figure something out with you. Can you guys please help me again because I'm gonna butcher her name?
Hikaru Shida.
Hikaru Shida, thank you, defeating Nyla Rose. What else can I say but what a great match. This was an excellent women's match. A lot of cool spots, especially outside the ring. Both girls just gave it their all. What a brutal match, a brutal fight. They both protected each other very well. And, congratulations to Shira because a lot of people were happy her actually winning the title. I don't really have much to say because I was trying to get into this match, but I couldn't. But as some spots I actually found very entertaining, and I thought it was very well done. And all kudos to both girls, man. They really put up a good effort. Vic.
Yeah, these are two of the best workers, at least in the women's division for sure, in my opinion. I thought they had pretty good chemistry. I'm a little shocked that they went with Shida, but then again, I'm not because she's like very endearing. And it's like easy to like kind of fall in love with her as a fan. Like if you see any of the other stuff she does, like she sings and she plays the piano and she's really sweet and and her work to me, I mean, it's pretty good. It's she's been really really solid for the company. She stepped up in a big way and they rewarded her. I liked what Nyla was doing. I do wish she would have held it just a little bit longer. Maybe another 3 months for the next pay-per-view. But it's okay. It's all good.
This match is weird because I thought that both women worked really hard, but I don't think that I ultimately liked the match. It's mostly based on layout and psychology. I know that it's a no DQ, no count out match. I get it. It's designed for what it was supposed to be. It's supposed to be a brawl. However, it almost seemed like there was no psychology in terms of trying to build towards that, especially from Shida's perspective, because Shida being the smaller wrestler, you would think that you being the smaller competitor would not necessarily want to go head first into a fight with somebody who's twice your size right from the beginning. The fact that Nyla Rose had the kendo stick and introduced it as soon as the bell rang, I was like, come on, really? You're 200 plus pounds. You're the most dominant woman in the division. You don't need the kendo stick. What you need to do is from a psychological perspective is you take the kendo stick and you just throw it out somewhere. You place it obviously where you want it to be for when that spot happens. But in the beginning of the match, you're looking at Sheet and saying like, yeah, I got you. Look, boom, here it is. I don't need it. I could beat your ass with my own two hands. Psychologically, that's the story. And then they can wrestle. They can do whatever they're going to do in the ring in the beginning of the match, work towards those spots. And then when it turns into a brawl, which it will, then you can start bringing the kendo stick and you can use all those crazy spots that they did. Again, my hat's off to both of them. They worked really, really hard, but a lot of the stuff that they did, it was like some of it didn't seem very believable. Like the fact that I'm like, how does Hikaru Shida hit a superplex on Nyla Rose? Again, Nyla Rose is twice her size. Certain moves in the match should not be happening. I understand that there are big spots and big things like that, but you got to think, does this make sense? It didn't. I get it. To the crowd, they popped and they did certain things well in certain spots. The fighting on the floor looked vicious. So, again, the one thing that I will say for the crowd in the AEW, God bless them. They're great. They're probably the best part of the show. The fact that the audience makes so much noise and they get into the matches. However, when these matches are kind of getting where the crowd is at, the crowd needs to disperse. I know you're wrestlers, but you're acting as fans. Get the hell out of the way. There was one spot in that match where, I think Hikaru Shida took like a backdrop bump or something. And literally Billy Gunn is like hovering over her, and he looked like he was the referee in the match and not the actual referee. And I was like, it's like, Lord Jesus. It's like, come on, man, give me a break.
I didn't know spot
I want to make sure there was either that match or the Moxley Brody Lee match, but I know there was one spot where, and it may have been in the Moxley match, so I could be mistaken there, but it kind of seemed like in this particular match, they did good stuff. They really did. I think that the match, again, I believe both women worked really, really hard. I don't like the fact that Shida won only because, again, Nyla Rose is the biggest, most dominant woman in the AEW roster, and yet she takes the most bumps and gets beat up the most of any of the girls. That makes no sense. It just, you figure in a match like this, the way that you'd want to book, the way that I would have booked this match is, I would have booked it to be kind of like a 70-30 match for Nyla Rose, but have Shida fight from underneath and really look like she's about to win, but she just can't do it. Nyla Rose beats her. And then you tell a story, particularly if, let's just say that Britt Baker it seems like Shida would get the title and then Britt Baker would be next. Well, let's just say that Britt Baker now, let's just presume she's going to be out for the foreseeable future. You could easily say, hey, let's keep the belt on Nyla Rose. Let's continue telling this story, get to the Fyter Fest show, and then that's where Shida can win the title there. I don't think that this was the best spot because I don't know. It felt like it was too soon, and I would have been okay with Shida losing, especially in a match like this, where it's a no rules match. It's designed for if Nyla Rose can't win in this environment, then what the hell? Nyla Rose can't beat anybody in any environment. It felt awkward. This was a match that Nyla Rose should have won.
All right, now we're down to the two final matches. We have a singles match for the world title. Jon Moxley defending against Mr. Brody Lee, not Brody Lee, Mr. Brody Lee. Jon Moxley went by, I think it was a submission match, if I'm not mistaken. I think he beat him by submission, or he made him tap out, or he passed out. I don't know what. I don't know. I wasn't really too thrilled with this match. I thought it moved a little slow. It wasn't a bad match. It was a good match. It wasn't a great match. Brody Lee was just moving. I feel he was just moving too slow. He wasn't selling properly. There was a couple of spots where, like, Mox would hit him and he would just do the like, oh, I was supposed to move there. Oh, I didn't notice that. He normally doesn't do that. He was moving too slow. There was even a spot where, like, Moxley, he did a suicide dive outside, and Brody just kind of like sat down. Like somebody just pushed him and he just sat down, and it was like, what are you doing? Sell. Overall, it was a good match. I didn't like it. I thought it was okay. The right guy won. Brody Lee, he's not world championship material, at least not yet. Hopefully in the future. I hope he keeps working. He is getting a lot better, but this was not his time, and Moxley is not the time for him to drop the title to anybody right now. Vic.
Yeah, I mean, I think the match, yes, was a little slow.
It was predictable. It was predictable. That was the word I was looking for. Sorry about that.
It was a brawl.
Yes.
It was, Jon Moxley style. It was a fight. Yeah. It was methodical, slow paced. That's what Moxley does. That's what he brings to AEW. That. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I agree.
Very hard hitting. Everything looks like it hurts. That's the style he brings. It didn't blow me away. I thought I was gonna be really, really into it. I didn't see really any big issues. I thought it was solid, but I wasn't blown away, and I was hoping that I would be. But I felt like the physicality was there, but I felt like Brody didn't really show. He didn't pull all his tools out, and considering this was a really big match for him, I thought he would have. But
yeah,
I'm okay with Moxley winning. I think they haven't told that story yet for who's the guy that's gonna take the belt away from him. So until that story is told, he can just hold on to that belt. And yeah, Brody just got there, so let's tell that story of, he has to climb, so he tried to steal it. Right now he stole the opportunity, so now he has to, climb it and earn it.
Correct. Lou.
I didn't like the match. I didn't like it at all. This match, again, when I'm thinking about it now, I'm like, the positioning of this match is actually not very good, considering that the previous match, Rashida and Nyla Rose, was basically the same match that this one was, right? Styles-wise. The thing is that in the Shida Nyla Rose match, the stipulation lent itself to that, and in this match, didn't seem like it did. Now, the match begins, and the two guys are out on the floor within the first 30 seconds of the match. They're both out on the floor. So Brody Lee takes a bump on the floor. Takes a bump on the floor. He literally gets up, he gets back in the ring, and he's doing a dive literally 20 seconds later. Didn't sell a single thing. So I'm like, okay, why? The match goes, it's a brawl. I know it's Jon Moxley's style, and again, I say this all the time. I like Moxley, and I'll always say that I stand corrected. I've always said that Jon Moxley being the world champion would do more harm than good to the title. Up to this point, I've been wrong. This match, I could probably make an argument to where I can say that I have a little hint of truth to that. Because Moxley's style, again, for the AEW world title, knowing that it's a new company, you want to establish the world title as a coveted trophy that is worth, that everybody wants to strive for. Sometimes it seems like for a guy like Moxley, he's so over that the belt it's a prop for him. He doesn't need to be the champion because of the way the matches are designed. However, neither here nor there. In the match, there's a spot in the match where Moxley and Brody Lee are fighting on the floor. They take bumps on the barricades. They take bumps on the set with the with the poker cards and all this other jazz. They take all these bumps. There's one bump where Moxley, I think he backdropped Brody Lee. He fell on the poker table. And then as Moxley's going to go over to him to continue offense, he sees the AEW title. He picks it up. The whole premise of the match is that, hey, my belt got stolen and I want to get it back. He holds it in his hand and then he basically throws it. He tosses it down like it was a piece of spam mail. I was like, the psychology of this match just went down the toilet with that one thing. It almost seemed like, Mox is like, that's my character. No, dude, you're the world champion. That's your trophy. That's what you came for. If you were going to do something like that was going to basically throw off the psychology of the whole match, then maybe what needed to happen is that, hey, if Dasha or somebody there sitting at ringside sees that they're getting too close, take the title and move it away. But that was awful. They go through the match, and again, when they go fighting up the rampway, and then Mox does the DDT on the stage and breaks the stage, that should have been the finish. Again,
Super Tech, bro.
Non-finish. Moxley doesn't lose the title. Brody Lee doesn't lose a match. And you can basically both make them look like badasses, and it took a spot like that to kill them both, and they physically couldn't get up. They take the spot. All the referees run to the ring. Whatever, 10 seconds later, Moxley comes out. He's sweating or whatever, but he doesn't look any worse for wear. Brody Lee comes out, and he's got like a little cut on his head, got some color. All right, cool, that's fine. They continue wrestling. And, then, and God, this drove me nuts, that Moxley hits the paradigm shift DDT on Brody Lee. He kicks out at one. First of all, that's fake. He got DDT through the ramp onto the concrete. He should be dead. He kicked out at one. That's fake. And then Moxley didn't even register it. No facials, no nothing. He just went right to his next move. I'm like, dude, what the hell are you doing?
Yeah, be pissed. Yeah.
No, just be shocked. Like, oh my God, I hit one DDT over the ramp and through the stage. I hit him and the dude just kicked out at one. I was like, he's got to be like, what the hell do I got to do to beat this guy? He did nothing. He just registered, kept doing it, hit him with another DDT. Brody Lee kicked out. Then he proceeds to choke him out. And you'd figure like, hey, Brody Lee got an out because he didn't tap. He passed out and the referee called for the bell. Fine. But it didn't do either guy any favors because the psychology of the match was thrown out. Too many things about the match. It's just like the whole story seemed just like nothing. Like Moxley just like, oh, well, the title doesn't mean anything to me. Then he gets the belt back and looks at the camera and says, hey, anybody messes with me professionally or personally, be ready for whatever. And I'm like, dude, I was like, that's great. I'm glad that you cut that promo. But, 10 minutes earlier when you just took the belt and tossed it, you lost all your credibility on that statement. It should have been a non-finish. A non-finish is perfect. You don't need a finish. Moxley doesn't need to get his hand raised because now you protect both guys. Now you have Brian Cage who won the title match. Brody Lee, that's an unresolved issue because Brody Lee didn't lose, and Brody Lee can look like a badass if then he's got material to cut on a promo. And then Moxley can say, yeah, you know what, Brody Lee's a badass, and you know what, we're going to have to do this again sometime. Like, it's come on, it's so simple, and they screwed that up because they wanted to give a finish. A non-finish was the finish they needed. They got the perfect out, and they didn't take it. It was, again, it's a brawl for the purposes of a brawl. It's fine, but again, you got to employ some level of psychology. There's certain things that you got to do, and there's certain things that you can't do. Yeah. You can't have Moxley take the title and toss it. The psychology of it is like, because it makes that DDT through the ramp on the concrete, it makes it look completely fake. Again, the psychology of the match is just, that's the reason why I say I didn't like it, because all these little elements just don't work. Again, like I said, a good effort by both guys. Yeah, Brody Lee did not have his best showing. Moxley didn't have his best showing, but they both tried. They both worked really hard. It's just the layout and the psychology of the match was just not good.
Yeah, I'm just, I'm worried that hopefully, Brody Lee was not exposed, and and they come to realize you know what, dude, you're not fit for like a main event run. We're gonna bring you back down. Only time will tell. Like we'll wait and see, because I'm a big fan of Luke, man. I thought he was great in WWE. I thought he was underutilized. Maybe what happened tonight, maybe WWE was shown like, okay, this is why you kept him limited just to protect him, and you proved it why we kept him at a certain level. Hopefully I'm wrong. But yeah, overall, it was not a good match. I mean, like you said, the guys, they both put a great effort, but yeah, overall, it was not a good match. Victor, any last thoughts?
Well, I guess my last thought is I'm not okay with a main event not having a finish, like a pinfall or submission finish.
Oh, you're talking about a closeout.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like Lou said, this would have been a good opportunity to go no finish, because they had another match coming later, and just the fact that it was a stadium, stampede, it was going to take place in another building, that it felt like the main event. So no one's upset that was the main event. I mean, like, that it was placed as the main event, the final match on the card. So as long as you're not closing out the show with a non-finish, I think people will be okay with that.
They would have been fine with it, yeah.
They're going to go home happy later. So you can do a non-finish. I think they had a good opportunity to do the non-finish. Yeah. So yeah, I wish they would have took that non-finish.
I agree, Vic. It's kind of like the Hell in a Cell finish, with Rollins and Wyatt. It was kind of like that. It should have never ended that way.
Well,
just to protect both guys.
Yeah, with the Rollins and Bray Wyatt match, that's a completely different thing. One is because when you're talking about a Hell in a Cell match, it's not designed. Again, a Hell in a Cell match is designed for there to be a winner. It's not designed to have a no contest. That's where you settle whatever beef, whatever scores you got to settle. You do it there. When you do a non-finish in Hell in a Cell, it's awful. This particular match, again, it's like, they with Moxley and Brody Lee, they kind of stretched the rules. When I was commenting about the match, I was like, I like Paul Turner. He's a great referee from Ring of Honor and now in AEW. He's a great referee. But I was like, AEW needs to fire Paul Turner immediately because, you know, he's incompetent. He can't count to 10. Those guys were fighting on the floor the entire time. But then again, it's like, hey, if they're bending the rules for title matches and saying, hey, we're not going to count anybody out or whatever, it's like, again, it lends itself to Moxley style, which is more of a brawl. And I'm like, okay, I would have probably been okay with there being, again, a little bit more wrestling because both of these guys are capable of doing it.
Jesus Christ Almighty. Okay. You have the Elite with Broken Matt Hardy against the Inner Circle.
Delete.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what to say with this match. It started out real well. It was a brawl, and then halfway through, you just got just the silliness comedy act. It was, you know, I kind of felt like I was watching like 10 friends just say, hey, we're going to go to the park and we're going to do all these funny things and just post it on YouTube. You know, it was like the street gang against The Office, because that's how it felt. This match. Jesus Christ Almighty, I was not happy with this match. It was just, I didn't like it. It was just a match. Way too much comedy. Was not a fan of this. I felt the same way with the Money in the Bank ladder match. It was the same concept, same bullshit. I get it. You got to be creative during this time, but it was just a joke. Nobody got over. You know, the car chase scene. You know, the spot in the pool which I thought it was bad timing. You know, because of what happened with Shaq Gaspard. So it kind of didn't. You know, that didn't blend well in the match. The car chase, the horse with Hangman Page, Chris Jericho doing his, you know, that's a flag and all this other crap. I was just not a fan of this match. I felt the same way with the Money in the Bank ladder match. So, you know, for anybody saying, oh, you just didn't like it because, you know, you have your reasons. No, I did not like it at all. As of right now, all these gimmick matches since the pandemic started, the best match has been the Boneyard match. That was the best match. I hated the Firefly Funhouse match. I hated the Money in the Bank ladder match, and I hated this match. This match was just awful. It was just 10 friends just going out there with another friend holding the camera and just recording each other like, let's just do stupid shit and put it on YouTube and hopefully we'll get some likes. That's how I felt about this match. Vic.
Okay.
Jesus Christ Almighty, man, with this match. I felt the same way with the Firefly match and the Money in the Bank match. I'm sorry, guys.
I don't think it was the same as the Money in the Bank match because I think that whatever they did for comedy here was funny. For me, maybe not for anybody else. I was laughing out loud, hard. You know, like especially the car slow-mo scene. That I literally bursted out, like laughing. Matt Jackson doing that's a Northern Light suplex that he does, right?
Yeah.
Northern Light, 100 yards, like that's hilarious. The horse, at first I didn't laugh with the horse, but when he parked the horse and then went to go have a drink, I laughed out loud. Maybe their style of comedy makes me laugh. To me, they're funny. Jericho is hilarious in his life. He's point blank, period. He's just a funny guy. To me, he totally gets comedy. He's been in a few movies where he's had some comedy parts, and he's done a good job. He's kind of like Cena. He's actually funny, like, you know. Like, that's why I don't think it's anything like the Money in the Bank. Yes, the purpose of the match is to, look, it's a tough time right now.
I'm sorry, Vic. When I was comparing it, I meant
I know.
Creativity-wise. Yeah, exactly.
No. It's similar, yes. We're trying to accomplish. Yes. Both matches try to accomplish the same thing. We're just gonna make this entertaining, fun, you know, like an action comedy Jackie Chan movie. That's kind of what we're going for. The Firefly Funhouse was going for something totally different. but it was also kind of funny. For me, I laughed for a few moments. So I liked the Firefly Funhouse match. I was entertained a little bit during Money in the Bank, but the comedy did not hit at all.
Yeah, I agree.
To me, the comedy was hitting. The only thing I didn't like was the pool thing. Not because of Chad Gaspar, because Matt Hardy's been doing the pool gimmick. Like, this is like people searching for something to be angry about. It's like AEW is not no, not you, but you. Yes, there were people
I
like
just
online.
I just felt it was bad timing. That was all I was saying.
No, because Chad. I think Chad Gaspar would not be like, look, if I die, you can't do anything based off, that's similar to the way I died. It's like, well, Matt Hardy's gimmick, he's been jumping into waters and changing character for 4 years.
Okay.
So, it's like, I don't think you sacrifice your gimmick because you're afraid you're gonna offend somebody.
Yeah, I agree.
Like, people are just a little sensitive in 2020. But either way, I don't think you're sensitive at all.
No, I'm sorry. Sorry. No, go ahead. I'm sorry.
But either way, I thought that the Matt Hardy thing took like 5. It felt like 5 minutes. I wish they would have just kind of flew by. But my MVP for this match is Sammy Guevara.
Yes,
this guy knows how to take an ass whipping, and he's guy that has mastered. Look, it's like I think about like ECW is one of the. I know whether you liked it or didn't like it, everybody was over, and they didn't all get over the same way. Tommy Dreamer did not win matches, and he got over. There's different ways to get over. Sandman could not work to save his life, but he had the best entrance ever. Everybody gets over their own way.
Everybody does something.
Sammy Guevara has, in my opinion, has found a way to get himself over. He's really good at taking these ass whippings. He'll take a move better than, than a lot of people, and it makes it pop. It's like, oh, shit, did you see that? So, if you're going to do a big move, Sammy now has made it a point to be the one to take it. He's like, look, I got to be the one to take it. You want that move to look great? I got to be the one to take it. So now AEW has no choice. Anytime they have a big spot in mind, they have to call Sammy Guevara. Sammy, come get run over by a truck. Sammy, we got to throw you off the top of a building. Sammy, we got to hit you with whatever.
I just hope that he's not like, like the R-Truth of AEW.
No, because he's not doing comedy. He's getting
that. To make sure.
R-Truth doesn't really. R-Truth loses matches, all his matches, but R-Truth is not like a getting my ass beat specialist. R-Truth just does funny stuff. He's just a funny guy, and this is like something different. This is a guy who's just gonna, get his ass whipped and make you look good and entertain the people. The people look at that and go, oh, those moments, those grab your head, what the hell moments. Sammy has a lot of them. So, he was my MVP for the match. I don't think anyone is buried. I think people, it's, maybe if you don't like that, if you don't like comedy matches or, these type of entertaining matches, that's fine. You don't have to like it. I don't think you're buried because the point of the match was to be fun and to let loose and to have a good time. This match was not meant to be serious because if you go too serious right now, we've seen what could happen. When we seen Edge and Orton do a serious ass match, everyone hated it. 98% of people. Lou was the only person I've seen that liked it. Serious is not going to work. You have a stadium to utilize.
Let's put some comedy in there. Oh, goodness. I agree.
I had a really, really fun time. I haven't seen that many people complain about it, except you two guys. So.
Well, Lou hasn't even got there yet.
Yeah, right, but Lou, I already know Lou. I already know what he likes and doesn't like.
Jesus, Lou, you have 8 minutes. Go for it.
This match sucked. How about that? That's pretty concise, right? This match sucked. I'll tell you why. You have your top 10 wrestlers in the promotion, and they go out and basically, to use Victor's words, do a Jackie Chan action comedy movie. I don't like cussing. That's bullshit. There's no way that you can run a promotion and have that garbage air on a pay-per-view and expect that any of those 10 guys can be taken seriously. I understand that they're trying to make the match fun, but damn it, even in the whole thing of, oh, let's just let our hair down and have a good time, there's still things that you can logically do to get guys over. The Elite versus the Inner Circle has been the primary story of AEW since day one. What the hell? You have the Inner Circle, who are your big badass heels, and yet all of them, because this is including Jericho, they all look like a bunch of clowns. Every single one. You have the Elite that are supposedly the top babyface group, and they all look like doofs. Kenny Omega, supposedly the world's greatest wrestler, for some reason in AEW can't get it through his head that if you're going to be the best wrestler in the world, present yourself as such. Matt Hardy with the broken Matt gimmick. Ever since TNA, I never liked it. You know, whatever. I can accept it for what it is, but I've never been a fan of it. The Young Bucks are not a bad tag team. They're a good team, but they're not the Road Warriors. And Hangman Adam Page, which is the only guy of the 10 that looked like a star, even a little bit, buried himself by saying, okay, I'm in the middle of a fight, but I'm more interested in having a drink. And the opponents have to come and find me so I can get into a fake fight in the bar. It's stupid. You can employ logic, and there are things that you can do in the match. Yes, you can have comedy and you can have funny moments that happen organically, but it seemed like this entire thing was set up for the comedy spots. Everything was produced and set up for that purpose and that purpose only. From the beginning of the match with the cheerleaders and the silly football entrances. Seriously, dude, you're in a fight. What the hell? Then basically they're all fighting on the field, which is the right thing to do. Then I see Jericho and I think it's Nick Jackson. They're doing like a running wrestling spot in the middle of that fight, and I was like, this is. Then they all proceed to break out, which of course that's totally fine. That's how this fight's supposed to go. Then you have one referee with like each group of guys. You know, the whole Matt Hardy thing with, you know, in the pool with LAX. Yeah, you know, whatever. The timing was kind of bad, but of course, whatever. I know that the Matt Hardy gimmick was that, you know, from TNA, and then, you know, that's always been the broken Matt gimmick about going in the water and coming up as somebody new, some reincarnated version of himself.
I never knew that, actually.
That was stupid. It was just stupid. Then you have the spot where Hangman Page is at the bar and he's drinking. Jake Hager goes looking for him, right?
Legit badass, by the way.
Yeah, legit badass. My foot. He was squashed at the end of this scene. So he goes in and he has a drink. He has a shot with Hangman, and then they get into a fight where they literally then do, you know, freaking flips off the bar, take a sick bump on the pool table, which the pool table has no give. You can really get hurt. Why the hell are you doing it? Then on top of that, Kenny Omega comes out, and then they bash 5, count them, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bottles over Jake Hager's head. He doesn't bleed, he's not knocked out, and he doesn't fall. It's either Page and Omega are the biggest pussies in the world, Jake Hager's the toughest guy in the world, or it's all fake. What the hell? Seriously? And you expect me to buy those guys as top stars? No. It's garbage. Then you proceed. The whole thing with Sammy Guevara and waking up with the sprinklers and all that, yeah, it's funny. But Sammy Guevara is not there to be a comedian. Because here's the thing, to your point about, oh, Sammy Guevara can do all this great stuff. Here's the problem. Sammy Guevara keeps getting beat. You don't get over if you always lose. I'm sorry. You just don't. Then at the end, Kenny Omega hits the one-winged angel on what was obviously a crash pad. They didn't even try to hide it. Didn't even try. Why are you counting the 1, 2, 3 at that point? I mean, the dude's dead. Just call it. Then after that, Matt Hardy, who was in the water and was fighting in the water, all of a sudden at the end of the match was nice and dry, looked like he took a shower, put some deodorant on, and put on a change of clothes. It's unfreaking believable. Chris Jericho, Yes, Chris Jericho's trying to be funny. The whole thing with the football, and then getting into an argument with Aubrey Edwards and the flag, and then with Nick Jackson after doing the Northern Light suplex for 100 yards, and then the referee says, hey, excessive celebration, and he super kicks the referee. I'm like, come on, man, how much more stupidity do you need in this match? Yes, it could be funny. You can have some funny moments, but damn it, the whole thing was just one big ha-ha tickle act. It was garbage. Not one single person got over in this match. If it's designed to be a comedy match and just say, hey, screw it. Listen, the Shawn Spears and Dustin Rhodes match, it didn't cover the comedy spot. You mean to tell me that Drek of a Ladder match didn't cover the comedy? You need your main event guys to also be ha-ha comedians? What the hell? It's absolute garbage. Should be ashamed of themselves. Because there's 100 other ways that you can have that exact same match, implement the comedy, and still have heat and some level of seriousness. None of those 10 guys even remotely tried to be serious. Not even remotely. And they spent tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars producing that. It's awful. It's garbage. They should all be ashamed of themselves. And they're the 10 top dudes in AEW. Give me a break.